Alexander the Great, the conqueror who would reshape the ancient world, was born in Pella, the capital of the Kingdom of Macedon, in 356 BCE. His father was King Philip II, a shrewd and ambitious ruler who had forged the Macedonian army into a formidable force. Olympias, Alexander's mother, was an Epirot princess with a fierce and independent spirit. She instilled in her son a sense of his own destiny, claiming descent from the hero Achilles. From an early age, Alexander exhibited a potent blend of intelligence, ambition, and a thirst for glory. He was a skilled horseman and warrior, trained in the arts of war alongside the sons of Macedonian nobles. He learned to wield the sword and spear, to command troops in battle, and to strategize with cunning and foresight. But Alexander's education extended far beyond the training grounds. Philip II, recognizing his son's exceptional potential, summoned the renowned philosopher Aristotle to be Alexander's tutor. Under Aristotle's tutelage, Alexander received a comprehensive education in philosophy, literature, politics, and ethics. He devoured the works of Homer, whose epics of gods and heroes fueled his own aspirations for greatness. He learned of logic and rhetoric, of the natural world, and the art of governance. This unique combination of military training and intellectual development shaped Alexander into a leader unlike any other. He possessed the physical prowess and martial skill of a seasoned general, coupled with the intellect and vision of a philosopher king. These formative years in Macedonia laid the foundation for his extraordinary journey of conquest and empire. Aristotle's influence on Alexander was profound and enduring. The philosopher instilled in his pupil a love of learning and a thirst for knowledge that would stay with him throughout his life. Alexander carried with him on his campaigns a copy of Homer's Iliad, annotated by Aristotle, a testament to the profound impact of his teacher's lessons. Beyond literature, Aristotle's teachings on philosophy and ethics shaped Alexander's worldview. He instilled in his pupil a belief in the power of reason and logic, but also emphasized the importance of virtue, justice, and moderation. These principles would later guide Alexander's decisions as a ruler, even as he grappled with the complexities of power and conquest. Aristotle's lessons on politics and governance were particularly impactful. He stressed the importance of strong leadership, but also cautioned against tyranny and the abuse of power. He emphasized the need for a ruler to be just and compassionate, to rule for the benefit of his subjects, not just for his own glory. Alexander, though driven by ambition, never forgot these lessons, striving to present himself as a fair and just ruler even to those he conquered. The years spent with Aristotle in the idyllic setting of Mieza fostered a deep bond between teacher and student. Aristotle recognized Alexander's extraordinary potential, but also saw the dangers inherent in his ambition. He sought to instill in his pupil a sense of responsibility, urging him to use his power wisely and to temper his ambition with compassion. This balance, however, would prove difficult to maintain as Alexander's star continued to rise. 336 BC, at the height of his power, Philip II was assassinated under mysterious circumstances. The Macedonian court was thrown into turmoil, with rivals vying for the throne. However, Alexander, then only 20 years old, acted swiftly and decisively. He rallied his father's loyal supporters, crushed any opposition, and ascended to the throne of Macedon. Alexander's first challenge was to consolidate his power within Greece. Many Greek city-states, resentful of Macedonian dominance, saw Philip's death as an opportunity to rebel. Alexander responded with a swift and brutal campaign, crushing the rebellion in Thebes and asserting his authority as hegemon of the League of Corinth, a position his father had held. With Greece secure, Alexander turned his attention eastward towards the Persian Empire. This was no act of impulsive aggression, but the culmination of years of planning by Philip II. Alexander inherited not only his father's throne, but also his vision of a pan-Hellenic crusade against the Persian Empire, avenging past injustices and expanding Greek influence eastward. Alexander's decision to invade Persia was audacious, to say the least. The Persian Empire under Darius III was vast and wealthy, boasting a massive army that dwarfed Alexander's forces. Yet Alexander was undeterred. He had inherited his father's military machine, but also his strategic brilliance and unwavering determination. He rallied his troops, inspiring them with tales of Achilles and the glory that awaited them in the east. Across the Hellespont, the march on Persia begins. In the spring of 334 BCE, Alexander led his army across the Hellespont, the narrow strait separating Europe and Asia. This symbolic crossing marked the beginning of his legendary campaign against the Persian Empire, a campaign that would last for over a decade and reshape the political and cultural landscape of the ancient world. Alexander's army, though outnumbered, was a formidable force. It comprised seasoned Macedonian and Greek soldiers hardened by years of warfare. At the core of his army were the companion cavalry, an elite unit of noble Macedonians renowned for their bravery and loyalty. They were armed with lances and swords, their charge often proving decisive in battle. The infantry, the backbone of Alexander's army, was composed of the pshetairoi, armed with long pikes called sarissas. They formed a formidable phalanx, a wall of shields and pikes that could withstand even the fiercest enemy assaults. Alexander also incorporated specialized units into his army, including archers, slingers, and siege engineers, demonstrating his understanding of combined arms warfare. As Alexander advanced into Persian territory, he encountered his first major obstacle at the Granicus River. There, a Persian army, composed of contingents from various satrapies, awaited him. The Persian commanders, confident in their numerical superiority, expected to crush the invading force. However, Alexander, displaying his characteristic boldness and tactical acumen, led a daring cavalry charge that shattered the Persian line, securing a decisive victory. A clash of empires from Granicus River to the gates of Persia. The victory at Granicus River sent shockwaves through the Persian Empire. It announced the arrival of a formidable foe led by a young king who fought not just with military might, but with unwavering determination and strategic brilliance. Alexander pressed his advantage, marching southward along the Ionian coast, liberating Greek city-states that had long chafed under Persian rule. At Issus in 333 BCE, Alexander encountered the main Persian army led by Darius III himself. The battle took place in a narrow coastal plain, negating the Persian advantage in numbers. Alexander once again led a decisive cavalry charge, smashing into the heart of the Persian army. Darius III, witnessing the rout of his troops, fled the battlefield, leaving behind his family and vast treasures. Rather than pursuing Darius, Alexander consolidated his gains, capturing key coastal cities like Tyre and Gaza. The Siege of Tyre, a heavily fortified island city, proved particularly challenging, lasting for 7 months. Alexander's engineers constructed a causeway to the island, allowing his siege engines to bombard the city walls. The fall of Tyre demonstrated Alexander's persistence and his willingness to adapt his strategies to overcome any obstacle. With the eastern Mediterranean under his control, Alexander turned his attention eastward, towards the heart of the Persian Empire. He marched through Syria and Mesopotamia, his advance seemingly unstoppable. Along the way, he encountered the legendary Gordian knot, said to be so complex that only the future ruler of Asia could untie it. Alexander, with characteristic pragmatism, simply sliced through the knot with his sword, fulfilling the prophecy in his own way.